everybody, it's Pina here. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back. In today's video I'm going to show you how to make these really cute little mitts. As you can see, they're really quite simple to make. They consist of this granny square and just some ribbing on the top, bottom and in the finger bit here. They really are lovely. I'll pop one on so you can see what it looks like. So there you are. That's how it looks like. It's fantastic. They're lovely and cozy and warm, and they give you that added sort of nice feature to a glove. As you can see, it's fantastic. Fingerless mitts, and they fit nice and snug, and they're also suitable for most age groups, even for an older child, maybe not a baby or a toddler. But if you wanted to make it for someone younger, you could make the granny square smaller, and that actually will make everything else around smaller. So you can make it adaptable to a child if you wanted to. But these are just for young adults to adults, and they are absolutely fantastic. So they'll fit most hands, and they are really, really nice. And I'm going to show you how to make these today. Now, to make these, I'm going to show you what you need. Just pop that aside for a moment. You're going to need a pair of scissors, of course. You're going to need a crochet hook, and this one here is 4.5 millimeter. Okay, crochet hook. You're going to need a needle to sew in your ends at the end. And that's what you're going to need. On top of that, you're going to need the yarn. Now, this is the yarn I used for this particular project. Now, this is called Bonus DK Extra Value. It's by Hayfield, if you can see just there in the gold writing, Hayfield. And it's, as I said, it's a double knit yarn. This one here is called Silver Mist, and that's the base of the mitt is the Silver Mist, and that's the color of that. Now, to make the granny square in the middle, just here, you're going to have these three colors, and for those three colors I used the same yarn, same brand, DK Bonus, in the color Moon. It's called Moon. And then I used the color, this is just a cream in the same yarn, cream, and I also used this color, which is called Oyster Pink, and I'll put the names of the yarn colors and the make of the yarn in the description box below for you. And so we're using these colors today, including this cream color. Okay, so let's get started on what we need to start the mitt. So pop these aside. Okay, so we're going to do the center panel, and we need to make two of these, and that is the granny square central bit here. So let's go ahead and make two of those. So I'll show you how to make one, and then you go ahead and make the second one. So grab your yarn, whichever color you want to use. You don't have to use the colors that I have here, but these look quite pretty, I think, for a lady or a young person. So I'm going to use my pink yarn to start with, and I'm going to just do a magic ring. So okay, and then once you've done your magic ring, you're going to chain up 3 from here. Okay, so yarn over, 1, 2, 3. That's 3 chains, and that is classed as a double crochet in this pattern. And we're just going to tighten up a little bit, and once you've done that, you've done your very first double crochet. You're going to do 2 more into the ring. So yarn over, insert your hook into the ring, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over into the ring, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2 again. So that's your first cluster of 3 double crochets. Now we're going to do a chain 2, so 1, 2, and into the ring we're doing another 3 double crochets. I'm just going to tighten that up a bit because it's easier to work in, I find, when it's tighter, but you might like it looser. So I'm going to yarn over, insert a hook into the ring, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2. Again, into the ring, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through another 2. That's 2. Now we need another one. So yarn over, into the ring, pull up a loop, pull through 2, pull through 2. That's 3 into the ring. Because we're going to form a square now, we need another 2 sets of 3 double crochets. So we chain 2 again in between. Always chain 2 in between, and then yarn over and do 3 more double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Right, now chain 2, yarn over and do another 3 into the ring. So that's 1, 2, and 3. Okay, chain 2. And now we're coming to the end of the 4 clusters of 3. I'm going to close the ring by pulling the tail end here. Just pull your tail end tight like that. And now that you've done that, we're just going to join now on the top of the chain 3, the 3rd chain up. So 1, 2, 3. We're just going to put a hook into there. 1 second. Just get into that space. There we go. And then slip stitch. Okay. So now that you've done that, you've formed a little square. And now what we're going to do now, we're just going to cut off our yarn. So I'm just going to cut off, leave a little bit of a tail end. Just pull that through like so, and there you have it. You have your square. Just tighten that up. There we go. Now we're going to build up on the square. We need just 3 sort of rounds of this granny square because we've got the colours, 3 colours there. And if you're doing for a smaller person, you may just use 2 colours. So here we are with just the middle bit, and I'm going to add the next colour. So for the next colour, which is the cream, I'm just going to grab my cream yarn, and here we are. So now for this bit, in any corner that you on this square, we're going to insert a double crochet. So, and I'm doing a standing double crochet, but you can do a chain 3 if you want. Standing crochet, I have a video on that. I'll put that down in the link as well, so you can check that out. So for a standing double crochet, you grab your yarn just like this between those fingers tight and yarn over twice like so. Pick up your work and into any corner just pop your hook, draw a loop up, pull through 2, pull through these 2 loops again. Okay, so keep hold of this end bit until you do the next 2 more double crochets. So yarn over and pop your hook in, pull through 2, pull through 2. Actually let go of that now. Yarn over, insert your hook, pull through 2, pull through 2. That's 3 double crochets in that corner. Now we're going to hop over to the other corner. We're going to yarn over, and we're going to go into that corner and do 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. And then chain 2, 1, 2. And then once you've chained 2, you do another 3 double crochets into the same corner space. So yarn over, insert your hook and do 3. 1, 2, and 3 double crochets in there. Hop off to the other side, yarn over and pop your hook in and do 3 more double crochets into that corner, 2, 3. Then chain 2, 1, 2, yarn over and pop your hook in and do 3 more. 1, 2, 3 double crochets. Okay, so we're going to go into this corner and do three double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. One, 2, 3. Okay. Now we're at the beginning where we made the first half of the corner, and we're going to do the next half of that corner to finish it, to complete it. So I'm just going to go over to that side and do 3 double crochets into that space. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now chain 2, 1, 2. And then we're going to slip stitch in the top of either your chain 3 or your standing double crochet. So I'm going to do a slip stitch in the top of my standing double crochet. Just do my slip stitch into the 2 loops, the V there, and do a slip stitch just like that. Now I'm just going to pull that out and cut that off because that colour's finished. So that's your second layer of the square. Now I'm going to do the third one, which is the moon colour. Okay, so here's the moon coloured one. I'm going to grab my square and I'm going to do another standing double crochet as before. Now you can do it anyway here. You can either start from the corner and do half your corner as before, or you can start from the middle. It's up to you. I'm going to start from the middle. It doesn't matter where you start, but I'm going to go into the middle bit, yarn over twice, and I'm going to go into there and do 3 double crochets. And then into the corner, 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and 3 double crochets. And then when you get to the middle again, you do a cluster of 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then again, just as before, into the corner, you do all of your 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. Okay, so go ahead now and do the whole of this square, and it's the same, quite straightforward, the same thing all the way around. So 3 double crochets in the center, 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, 3 double crochets in the center, and then 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets until you come to this end, and I'll show you how to finish off this square. Okay, so I've finished this third round, and we're going to slip stitch again into the top of either the chain 3 that you've done or the standing double crochet just there. I'm going to just slip stitch in the V there and pull it through like so, and I'm going to just pull out my yarn and cut it off just like that. Now these ends will be sewn in anyway, so that's fine. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do the final colour, which is the blue, or the silver mist, sorry, It's called Silver Mist. It looks blue though. Looks like a duck egg kind of blue. And we're going to do a round of that as well. Okay, so I'm just going to grab my yarn and show you. It's pretty much the same again. You can start anywhere on your square. You can start in a corner, you can start on the middle, but I'm going to start in the middle here. So I'm going to do my standing double crochet again as before, and I'm going to insert my yarn in one of these spaces in the middle here. I'm just going to put my yarn into there and then do my standing double crochet and then do 2 more. 1, 2, so you've got 3 there. Okay, 3 of those. I'll hop over to the corner and do the same as you did before. In the corner, it's pretty much the same. It's 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. Okay, so once you've done that, carry on all the way around doing the same thing. Now you've got 2 spaces as opposed to 1. Make sure you do the 2, fill them in with 3 double crochets each in each space. So you need to make sure 3 in each of these spaces. And there you go. So carry on all the way around, do your corners as I did there and as you did before, and then I'll meet you when you get to the end of this square. Okay, so now that you've completed this 4th round, we're going to join up again the same way. So I'm just going to pop my hook into the V of the standing crochet stitch, or your top of the chain 3, whichever you're doing, and just do a slip stitch and then pull out your loop and cut the yarn off like so. Okay, so now that you've done that, you're going to do exactly the same for another one, exactly the same square, and then you're going to tie in your ends, sew in your ends, just sew them in all the way round, even these ones, all of them sewn in. And then when you've done all that, I'll meet you back here for the next stage. I'll show you how to do one of your ends, so you know roughly how to, if you've never done this before. So you just grab your needle, thread it through, and just thread it through the same colour preferably, so it doesn't show. So just go all the way through a few loops and sort of, you know, bring it through. And I'm just going to thread it through there. And just go back and forth a few times so that you've got it well secure. Like so. Okay, so just continue with all your ends until you've got all your ends sewed in nice and tightly and securely. Okay, I'm just going to cut that bit off and continue all the way, and I'll meet you back when you've done 2 of these. Okay, so now that you've done 2 of these squares, we're going to join them together. Now to join them together, we're going to get another bit of yarn, the same colour preferably, and I'm just going to cut off just a little bit just to sew one side first. So I'm just going to cut about, not too much, don't need too much for that, I'm just going to cut about that much, just a little bit, and we're going to thread our needle and just thread your yarn through the needle like this. Okay, and then grab your 2 pieces. Now you need to put the front side inwards and the wrong side outwards. Okay, that's the right side and that goes inwards, and then this This is the wrong side on the outside. Now I'm just going to join up 2 bits together now. Now what we're going to do for this, we're going to join up these 2 sides first. So we're going to literally just join one side and join the other side, but we're going to leave space for your finger to go through. So this side's going to be all joined all the way along. So I'm just going to grab my needle, and for this, you see your stitches here, you've got all your V's there, you've got your chain 2 space here. You're going to grab a chain, the chain nearest to the double crochet. This is the chain 2 here, but you're going to the chain just before your double crochet. I'm just going to stick my needle in there, and the chain just before this side, if you can see, this side's got a double crochet just here, and we're going to put our needle through that first chain just like that. So the two chains there are going to have the yarn pull through. Now once you've done that, you've pulled it through, just leave a little tail end, and then you can just tie that now. You can just tie this bit here. So I'm just going to tie that like that, just to secure it. So once you've tied it, now you can carry on all the way along as normal, and that is, we're doing like a whip stitch, and we're grabbing 2 sides of the V. So if you go into the square, you'll see your very first double crochets. So we need to go into the V from this side, and we need to grab the V from that side, the same V on either side. Okay, and just do a whip stitch like that. So you just put your needle through just like that on this side, and then go through to the V on the other side, and then go over again to this side and go through the V from this side. You see, it's just giving you that little whip stitch, and then again on that side you grab a V. The 2 sides of the V you need to grab. If you can see here, I've got 2 V's, two loops, and then you need to go into the side, the 2 loops of this side, like so, and just carry on all the way along, grabbing the loop, 2 loops this side, and make sure you haven't missed any stitches, and do the equivalent on the other side, the equivalent stitch on the other side, in other words. So I'm just going to go back into the next stitch and then grab the other stitch. Just pull that, not too tight, just reasonably tight, and again like so, and then just carry on all along. There we are. And I'm just going to go into that one, and then make sure you don't lose any stitches, and don't go twice in the same stitch either. You don't want to go twice into the same stitch. You just want every stitch to be level with the other side. So just going to go into that one, and then I'm going to lift this one here, so when you open it up it's pretty neat. So I'm going to carry on because I've got about, I think, 2 more stitches or so. Yeah, so I'm going to go into that last, well, there's 2 more left, so 2 more, so that's 2 from the double crochet, the top of the double crochet, the last stitch, and then the chain 2 space, you've got the 2 chains, you're going into the very first one of those chains, which is the next one from that's the double crochet. The next one is just there, and I'm going to go through 2 loops of that chain. Can you see? 2 loops of the chain and 2 loops of this side of the chain, and then just pull it through. So make sure that's all nice and neat. And there you have it. So that's how it should look once you've done one side. So now I'm just going to be a little bit more secure and just go in a couple of times. These last 2 stitches that I've gone in, I'm just going to go in a couple of times so that it's really nice and secure. So just going to go in there. I think that should be okay. Maybe one more time. There we are. That's it. Now I'm just going to cut that off for now. And these can be sewn in afterwards. So once I open it up, that's the right side and it will go that way. Okay. But now what we're going to do is carry on the same way. We're on the same side where the front is in the middle still, and we're going to this side, so this side of the square. But we're not sewing it all the way because we're leaving a sort of finger space. So what we're going to do, we're going to sew up until this very first, past the first corner where you've got that very first space, and on this side again where that very first space is, and this two clusters here in the middle is going to be where the fingers going to come through, so the finger hole. So up to there you're going to close it, okay, and then you've got this little hole. So let's carry on and grab some more yarn. Now you only need 2 pieces of yarn for this, so I'm going to grab 1 piece, 2 piece. They don't have to be that big because it's only a small area that we're doing. So here we go, we're going to just thread this through again. Like so. Okay, and we just do the same thing again as we did on this side. We're going to grab the very first V of the chain just before the double crochet, and this side as well. Let's make sure we've got the same. Yes, we have. Yeah. So I'm just going to bring that through, and I'm going to tie that just to secure that. There you go. Just tie that bit. All right, and then you're just going to grab all the stitches up until this space, and I'm going to just go through it like before. Make sure you've got the very first one in accordance with the other side exactly. There you go, and then shift over to the other side. Just checking it's the same stitch as the other side. Yep, it is. And then just carry on. And now that we've done that, we've got it to the point where we've got the little space, the very first space, like I said. So we need to stop there. And I've done my last stitch into that last double crochet of the 3 double crochets. The last one, I've done my last stitch into there. So I'm just going to seal that off properly so it doesn't come loose, and I'm just going to go in it a couple of times, this side into that side a couple of times. What you can do is just, when you do tie your ends in, you're just going to sew it through here all the way out to the other side. And that secures that side. So that's that side. Now we're going to turn it this way again, and you should have, when you've done this side, 6 stitches in the middle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that works out perfectly well. Okay, so now what we're going to do, we're going to sew this side now. So with your second bit of yarn, just thread that through the needle. Okay, and what we're going to do is just do the same thing again. So make sure you go for the chain just before the double crochet and go through the V's of that chain again, and that side as well. Okay, just as you did before. And you need to just tie that up again, just a little knot, not much, just once will be fine. And then what you do is, you now grab exactly the same thing. You grab the stitches from both opposing sides of the square. So I'm just going to go in there, and then think that's the last one. Should be the last. I think that's the last one. So make sure to know that that's the last stitch and it's in the middle there, you need to count 6 stitches between the 2 sewn ends. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's exactly right. So I'm now going to go in again and just quickly finish that off. Just tighten that up a couple of times. Okay, now then just thread it through here so it's nice and secure. Just leave that like that for a moment. Okay, so now when you turn it inside out like this, you're going to have a little pouch with your little hole there, so you can pop your hand in and then you can see how it fits. Your finger will fit perfectly there. So now that you've done that, all you need to do is, you could sew your ends in now if you want. Sew all these ends in and, you know, make sure they're secure and they won't come loose. You can even tie them like this before you sew them in again. You can either tie them like that. Don't pull too tight because you don't want a nasty big knots anywhere. So just kind of, there we go. And then you just sew them in. So I'll meet you back here when you've sewed your ends in to show you how to do the ribbing. Okay, so here we are back again, and I've done both sides and I've turned it inside out. So we've got the right side on the outside now, and the hole is just there. And now we're going to start with the ribbing, which is going to start at the bottom. So I'm going to grab some more yarn with my hook, and same colour yarn, but you can use any colour you want. And we're going to start with the ribbing from the bottom. So at the bottom, and you can start anywhere you want. I'm going to start just in the middle. So I'm going to go into this very first cluster here, this one here, and I'm going to do a yarn over twice, insert my hook from behind like this. Okay, pull up a loop, pull through 2, pull through 2. Now that is a front post double crochet, and now I'm going to do a back post into the next stitch. So yarn over and go from behind and come in the front and out the side, pull the yarn through at the back here like so, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So that's your very first 2 standing front post back post double crochets. Now yarn over, we're going to do a front post, so we're alternating. So we're doing this front post now, and then yarn over and back post from behind, and then pull your loop through, and then yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2. Okay, now we're going to do a front post. So yarn over into the back, out the side. Okay, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, yarn over into the back, that's a back post, pull through 2, pull through 2. So you're doing front post back, front post back, front post back post all the way until you get to this bit here. So this bit here, what we're going to do here now is we're going to, if you watch carefully here, you've got your very first double crochets here on either side where the corner space is, okay, and then you've got your other 3 here. You've got your 3 here and your 3 here and the chain 2, haven't we? Now what we can do is yarn over, and we're going to go into this stitch, the very first double crochet after the chain 2. So we're going to go into that and do a front post double crochet. Okay, so now that you've come to this bit, we've got this little bit here in the middle, okay? And what we're going to do is going to go do a back post, so yarn over and do a back post through that bit there and that bit there, and just grab the yarn and pull it through. And then just do your normal double crochet. So that's a back post double crochet. Now yarn over and into this stitch here, this one here, there's the 3 double crochets, the chain 2, and then you've got a stitch there. We're going to go into that stitch as a front post. So pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2. So now you've made that look pretty much level and neat now. So now we're going to go all the way around and carry on as normal and yarn over. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do a back post now. And a front. Front post. Back post. Post and front, back post, and front, and then work your way around so that you go into the other side. So I'm going to carry on again. So that's back post, front post, back post, front post, back post, front post. Now that we've got to this bit, we're going to do exactly the same as we did over the other side, and we're going to yarn over and we're going to go back post into this stitch here. So just put your hook behind and do a back post. Then this little trunk here, as we did before, we're going to do a front post into there. So get your hook and do your front post into there. And then yarn over and into this next stitch just here, we're going to do a back post. So just pull up and do your double crochet, back post. Next stitch, front post, double crochet, and then back post, double crochet. Make sure you're getting the back post, front posts alternatively in, and then we're coming towards the end here, and I'm just going to do my front post, back post, front post, back post, and there you go. So you should end up on a back post, so that way it's evenly done where you've got front, back and front. So now that I've come to that point, I'm going to now slip stitch in the top of the V of my standing stitch, double crochet. If you can find your V, where your V is, and my V is, just fiddle around with it and you can find it. It's just there. So I'm going to do my slip stitch into there. Okay, so pull that all nice and tight. So there you go. So I've done my slip stitch. So I'm just going to take my hook out for a moment to show you. So you've done your, there you go. That's your first stage of the ribbon. Now I've done about 7 rows of this ribbon. You can do short, you can do longer, you can make it shorter. This is about 7 rows I've done here. So I'm going to start you off with the next row. And then I'll show you what to do from then onwards. So I'm just going to chain 1. Now we're not going to chain 2 or 3 or anything like that. It's going to be chain 1, and that chain 1 doesn't count as a stitch. It's just to sort of bring it up a little bit. Now what we're going to do, we're going to work into these same stitches now. So there's no reversing. It's just you work into a front post as a front post, a back post as a back post, a front post as a front post. So now I've got a front post to start with. I'm going to yarn over and I'm going to go into that as a front post, double crochet. And then the back post just here, I'm going to go into that as a back post. Follow it the way it should go. There we go. Front post, because that's a front post there. We go on top of that one. back post, we work on top of it a back post. Front post, we work a front post. Back post, we work a back post. Front post, work a front post, and that's all you do. So you work back and front, but on top of each stitch you work the same stitch. So that's a back post. I'm going to work another back post on top, and that's a front post, and then work another front post. Back post. Now carry on all the way around until you come here, and then when you come here, slip stitch in the top of your chain, whatever you've got. If you've got a chain 3 there, you can slip stitch on top of it. If not, slip stitch on the V of your standing stitch, which is just there. And I'll meet you back here when you've done 7 rows. Okay, so now that you've done your 7 rows, I've done 7 rounds rather, of this ribbon, which is really nice. It's nice and stretchy. I'm going to just close off now and pop my hook back in and just slip stitch in the top of this front post double crochet. Just do a slip stitch. Okay, so once you've done that, you can just take your yarn out for now, pull up your yarn, and I'm going to show you how to do a invisible join at the very end. So I'm just going to leave that as it is for now. Now go back to the top of the mitt, and we're going to do the same thing again, ribbon. So I'll show you how to start that off. So let's grab some more yarn, and for this one again, you can start in the same position as before. You can just do it on the same side again, and you do a standing double crochet, and you just go into any of these stitches and do a front post to start with. So we're going to do a front post double crochet, so double crochet into there, and then back post double crochet into the next one, front post into the next one, and back post into the next one. And you do pretty much the same thing. I'm just going to sort of start you off, and front post, back post, okay. Now once you've done that, you're just going to come to this bit again, and you do exactly the same thing again as you did at the bottom. Okay, so yarn over, and I'm going to do a front post into this double crochet here, front post, and then yarn over and do a back post on this little trunky bit here, just here. Okay, we're going to do a back post double crochet into that. Whoops, do that again. And then we're going to do a front post into this bit, this stitch here, just like we did at the bottom. Back post, and then you just carry on all the way as you did at the bottom, and the same way you do. I've done, how many rows have I done on mine? 1, 2, 3, 4. I've done 4 rows. You can do more if you want, but that just reaches the knuckles. So if you want it longer, you can do that. I think it's fine to just to reach the knuckles of your hand. And 4 rows of this, or 4 rounds of this, I should say. And then once you've done that, you join on. Make sure you do a chain 1 at the beginning of every round. Chain 1, front post double crochet, back post front, back post front. The same, go into the same stitch with the same stitch, if you know what I mean. So I'm going to leave you there, and at the very end you just do a slip stitch in the top of your standing double crochet front post, or your chain 3, you do a slip stitch, and then carry on doing as many rounds as you want. Now I'll meet you back here when I've done my 4 rounds. Okay, so I've come to the end of 4 rounds of the front post, back post, and now I'm just going to slip stitch on the top of the double crochet front post, and I'm just going to do a slip stitch for now. Just pull it out lightly and just we're not doing anything yet because we're going to do invisible join at the very end. But for now, we're just going to do the last bit, which is the thumb hole, and I'm going to grab some more yarn for that. Now for this, you're going to do front post, back post, the same as you did here. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to grab our yarn and do a standing double crochet. And I'm going to go into this very first double crochet from previous round, and I'm going to just do my front post here. Okay, front post. Then yarn over and do back post, and then yarn over, do front post, front post, and then continue all the way around, same as you did in the previous rounds of the cuff and the top bit of the mitten. And you're just going to go front post, back post all the way for the very first round. Just do that. And back post here. Now I've come to this bit here, which is the this end bit. Now we're going to work into there as well, so I'm just going to yarn over and pop my hook into this space just here. Space here where you joined it, the last stitch that you joined. So we're just going to do a front post there because we're alternating, and then in the next stitch just here, back post. So make sure you do a back post, then front post, and then back post, front post, back post. So these are all double crochets, as you can see, as before. And then we've got a last one here, front post, until we get to the end here. Again, we're at the end, and we're going to do another stitch just there where we joined, if you can see, where we joined the last stitch. Okay, we're going to do our back post into there because we're alternating back post, front, front, back, front, and then we're going back post into there. So I'm just going to go through there and do a back post double crochet just there. Okay, and then when you've come to the end of this, you've got the stitch here which you first made. You're going to join into that. I'm just going to tuck my end in so you can see. So you're going to join into the top of the standing stitch double crochet. So we're going to do a slip stitch now. You should have 14 stitches at the end of all this. I'm just going to pop my hook in there and show you. So just get the V up, make sure you get the V of the last stitch there. Okay, now just going to pull it through, pull it through. Okay, I'm just going to show you now what I've done and how it looks. So you've got your little hole, your thumb hole here, just the start of it, and you should have those 6 stitches and 1 on either end, and that's 12, 13, 14 stitches there altogether. Now I'm just going to do another round so you can see how it's done, and from here you do exactly like you did with all the other rounds. You chain up 1, always chain up 1, and then we're going to go in as normal. We're going to go into this one because it's a front post, as a front post, into the next one. We're going to go into the back because it's a back post. If you can see where it is, there it is. That's a back post, so we're going to go into that one as a back post, and then when the next one will be a front post. And the next one will be a back post, and so on. So you just go over the same stitch just as you did before in the previous rounds. You just go through the same stitch in the same with the same stitch, I should say. So a back post, you put a back post. In a front post, you put a front post. And just going to, now you mustn't forget that stitch there that you've done in the corner bits. So I'm going to go into that one now as well. Might be a bit of a tight gap to work in, but you can do it. So back post, front post. Back post. And then front post. Okay, and then one more is the back post. I mustn't miss that last one. Just there. Okay, so now that I've come to the end, I'm just going to join up with the very first stitch here. The top of the standing stitch there. I'm just going to slip stitch. Now you'll need, I've done 1, 2, 3, 4. I've done 5 rows. You can do as many as you want. You can leave it like this, or you can make it a little bit longer. I like it so it reaches sort of the knuckle. So I've done 5 rows, or 5 rounds, whichever you want to call it. And I've, just carry on the same, and then when you get to the end, always at the end always slip stitch into the top of the previous front post double crochet, and then chain 1, always chain 1 at the beginning, and carry on doing the same. And then I'll leave you to get on with that, and I'll meet you when you've finished this bit. See you in a moment. Okay, so here we are, finished. Almost finished. I'm just going to slip stitch my last slip stitch, and there we are. I'm just going to cut off without tying it off too tight, because now I'm going to show you how to do an invisible join so that your ends will look neat without any big knots and things like that. You don't want those sort of knotty ends. So I'm going to show you how to neaten that off. I'm just going to grab my needle and I'm going to show you how to do it from the bottom side, for example, but you do it the same every way. So where we've made a sort of temporary we've cut off and we temporarily left it into a loop, we're just going to pull that out now like this. Okay, so now you've undone those stitches, you're just going to grab that loop that was left on the last stitch there, and you're just going to pull it through like that. So you've left it like this. Okay, now I'm just going to thread my yarn through my needle, and I'm going to join an invisible way. So I'm just going to go through this top of this V here on this side, pull through, and go go inside this V and down the back, grabbing a bit of yarn on the way, and then we're just going to pull that tight so it's nice and closed, and there you are, you have an invisible join. There's no sort of knots and things that sometimes you get. So I'm just now going to join the inside. So all you need to do is slip the needle through the yarn at the back, and you've got a very good grip there because you've got these ridges, so you can just go into them and your yarn will grip very well into there. So make sure you do that, and of course go backwards and forwards as you normally do. And I'm just going to go down there again, as you can see. Go down a bit more and back up if you want to. So that's that, and now I'm just going to cut that off on there, and that's the first one. Now go ahead and do the same to the top of your mitten and on the thumb hole. Do the same thing exactly with your loop that you've left behind. Tie in all your ends, sew in all your ends, whatever you want to do, and I'll meet you back here when you've finished. Okay, so here we are, completely finished, and this is the end result. A beautiful little mitt, and it's absolutely stunning. You can just pop it on and keep your hands warm, nice and cozy. They're nice and pretty and absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to show you the pair of them on together, what they look like. So this is one, this is the other one, and they're so comfortable, so lovely. And you can make them in any colour you want, but this I found was a lovely combination, and I hope you enjoyed watching me make this, and I hope you've made a pair yourself and that you will enjoy wearing them or giving them away as a gift. Thank you very much for watching, and hope to see you in the next video. Bye for now.